Good morning and Jai Hind, students. Uh, we are studying the last chapter of our second book. Understand? And the today we shall discuss about the or discuss about the Akbar Nama and the Badshah Nama. Now, what are the features of these books, Akbar Nama and the Badshah Nama? Who wrote and what the contents and how what the contents and how these books have been the composed. Understand? Regarding that, we know that one thing, we are the well known that Akbar was now his figure was as a national ruler. He was a national ruler, or he now jeweled the 9 gems wherein is the court. Understand? 9 gems, the prominent or uh, celebrated 9 gems were in his court, or they have the different, they were the well versed or the accents of excellent skill in their own fields. Understand? Whether it may be the literature, whether it they one may be in the field of art, whether one may be in the field of justice, or whether one may be in the field of the writings. Understand? Or these all were the gems of the Akbar, and we should find out who were those gems in the Akbar courts. And 9 gems were at the Akbar court, and we have to. This is the task given to you by me. You should now write their names or their field. This is the task for your students who are now listening or the to me. Understand? Through this class. One thing. Second, students, Akbar wanted to be the national ruler, or one thing, Akbar or the other Mughal rulers or emperor, they commissioned the chroniclers or the writers. Understand? Or particularly the Abul Fazl, who was the one of the gem at the court of the Akbar. He now, understand, who revered and who supplicated all his writings to the Akbar, in the feet of the Akbar, because for him Akbar was an a divine. Akbar was a divine being in his eyes. Understands? And he wanted to place the Akbar at this position, bring the Akbar at this position by his writings. Understand? Or his writings, Abul Fazl writing was enormous, or contains the enormous information. Although to get at the real and to get the objectivity, we have to be the analyze or compare the incidents and the writings of the contemporary writers with that of the Abul Fazl, because the Abul Fazl was the recklessly he believed in the Akbar's court and in Akbar's achievements. He never looked Akbar in criticized way. That's why whatever the writings will come, that will be the relative writing, not the objective writing. Something biased or the exaggeration we can find the hyperbolic expression or as well as the exaggerated or the things or incidents or events, okay, in an exaggerated manner. So we say reader must be the aware of the must be aware of that. Understand? Moreover, students, the further here we are going to study about the book, a composition of book Akbar Nama and the Badshah Nama. So now the Nama indicate the name and the Nama, Akbar and Nama and Badshah and the Nama indicate these chronicles were completely devoted and completely associated with the king's achievements. Understand? So now here the Mughal officials history. Now these Akbar and the Akbarnama and the Badshahnaama, the Mughal official history Akbarnama is like the and Badshahnaama, chronicles of the king, most well known or the well celebrated books of the Mughal court. Each manuscripts contained. Now these each manuscript, understand, contained an average of the 150 full or double page paintings. These chronicles are full of the paintings and the single or the double paintings full of. And what this theme of these paintings are what? The theme of these paintings are battles, the sieges, sieging the fort, or hunts, building construction, and the court scenes. These scene or the paintings now depicts the theme. They contain the theme, like the whenever the kings say now mobilizations towards the jungle for the hunting, the management of the courts, arrangement of the courts arrangement, the battlefields, the achievements of the kings, the roaring figures of the king, understand, and moreover, and roaring of the kings, sieges of the forts. These all things were depicted in painting manner to make these achievements the more effective and more dynamic and more living. Understand? These were the main purpose of the writers or the painters who were involved in the construction of the chronicles. Okay, my dear students, the further the author Akbarnama, not to say the who wrote the Akbarnama. Okay, it is the Abul Fazl grew up Mughal capacity of the capital of the Agra. Now he belonged to the grew up in the Agra, or widely read in the, or he was a well versed, very much a scholar. Now he was celebrated a scholar or a man of letters, and particularly, and he was the well versed or the well known in the Arabic language. He knew Arabic language, Persian language, Greek philosophy. He was acquainted with the Greek philosophy and the Sufism. Now the Sufism now made, he was influenced by the Sufism that made him the Abul Fazl, that made the personality of Abul Fazl very, very much liberal or the full of generosity. His personality, and he was a forceful debater also. Now he used to participate in the debates and debater, independent thinkers. He thought very independently, or who consistently opposed the views of the conservative ulama and the Akbar. Now the Abul Fazl. There were two groups in the Akbar court. One group was conservatives, orthodox, and who always criticized the Akbar's work and Akbar's inclination and the Akbar say now the policy and the ideas of generosity. They always criticized the Akbar's, and on the other hand, the liberals who were the influenced by the Sufi traditions and believed in the love or the belief in the tolerant policy of the Akbar. Understand? So they now, so the Abul Fazl, one of the liberals, or he always opposed and stood against the conservatives. On the other hand, the conservatives, orthodox were led by the writers Abdul Qadir Badauni, who had written the Muntakhaba ut Tawarikh. He composed, and he was now one of the very sharply criticized the Akbar's policy, living in at the Akbar's court. But the Akbar. Now he was very tolerant, and he never harmed anyone, or he accepted the opposition also, or he knew all about that. But on the other hand, this was the Akbar's compulsion to make and express the national character of his empire or the administration. The Akbar was determined for achieving that high climax of his empire, for his personality and the features of his governance. Understand? So now here the two things were going on in the court of the Akbar. The first, now here, these qualities impressed the Akbar. Now the Abul Fazl, Akbar was much impressed by the Abul Fazl's liberal or the tolerant qualities. Understand? And now and then after, his ideology suited the Akbar, so the Akbar appointed him as his advisor. And also he was the spokesman for his policy. Now he was appointed as a spokesperson of the Akbar's policy. So the Abul Fazl now got a very high position or a very respectable position under the Akbar's court or at the Akbar. Now one major objective of the emperor was, now we know, to free the state from the control of religious orthodoxy. We know very well that Akbar had the much concern how to create his state, the empire, as a national empire, and how to create the harmony amongst the diverse groups who were existing in his court, and how to bring the harmony, affinity, or the peace and calm. Understand? Amongst the different diverse groups. This was the concern of the Akbar the Great. Akbar wanted to make the national, or wanted to assimilate all the culture. He wanted to synthesize all the cultures, different cultures together, or make this by the assimilation created a national character of these cultures. This was the concern of the Akbar, and show the religion, and he wanted to how to control the religious orthodoxy, how to make and free the state from the religious conservativeness or the orthodoxy. And for this, or in his role as a court historian, and for the Abul Fazl, he was a court historian of the writer Akbar the Great. Understand? Now the more he both the shaped and articulated, he shaped and articulated the ideas associated with the reign of the Akbar. He set forth the ideas and articulated the ideas of the Akbar for the empire and for the reign of the Akbar. It was now he fabricated and created the Akbar's ideology. Understand? Akbar's ideology he created and shaped and tried to shape the empire on the basis of the Akbar thoughts. Understand? Even that, even in the structures and the buildings, whatever the Akbar got constructed reflects the Akbar's hearts. Within the stone reflects the Akbar's personality. Understand? Or Akbar's features, Akbar's thoughts, because he tried assimilation of the all culture, tried to bring the harmonious environment, tried to create the harmonious environment among the diverse cultures and diverse groups and the culture also, we can say that. And the further, in the beginning 1589, Abul Fazl worked on the Akbar Nama. 1589, he started working on the Akbar Nama for the 13 years. Akbar Nama, first time he worked on the 13 years, devoted his time or repeatedly revising and the drafting this Akbar Nama. 13 years he took the writing the Akbar Nama, Abul Fazl. And now he continued the revising the documents or the drafting the documents, or now the chronicles is based on a range of sources. Now this is the chronicle has been the written. Any chronicles is written on the sources. You know very well, the history is constructed on the basis of the sources, whether the architectural sources, literary sources, eyewitness, understand, or the numismatics. Many of the sources are there. So this Akbar Nama was also based on the sources including the actual records of events. Actually, the sources were also included those sources, the actual events. Now, Vakya means the eyesight events, eyewitness events, or the informations were included in this Akbarnama. Whosoever saw the events, those now from there, the Abul Fazl picked the information. Abul Fazl picked the information from the eyewitness, and those were the present at the place of the Vakya or the events, and moreover official documents also. So he had written or composed the Akbarnama. He's taken the information from the officials' documents. What the officials' documents? The orders of the official orders, official documents. He collected and took the information or composed and now wrote in the Akbarnama. The sources he had taken from the official documents also, collected from there. And moreover, students, and now documents and the oral testimonies of the knowledgeable person, and as well as he now took the interview or the sayings of the knowledgeable people of the state or the empires, those who were the very knowledgeable persons. From them he got the information about the incidents and about the any traditions, understand, and by the taking the information from them he compiled or he wrote those information, as stipulated those information in the Akbarnama. Understand? Now he took and collected the sources from the various uh, from the different elements and from the state and from the differently he got collected. Understand? Or then after he composed it and he wrote down the his Akbarnama and included in the Akbarnama. Moreover, Akbarnama here three books of the which Akbarnama had been divided in a three books. First book, second book, and the third book. Akbarnama as a whole is divided in three books, or the we can three volumes. The now the here three books of the which first two are the chronicles. First two books is the chronicles. It means that if the events had been the orderly written down, events of the have been the orderly arranged, or in the dates have been the given. Time and dates have been the given. The events have been the orderly. The third book is the Aine Akbari. Akbarnama divided into three books. Two books carry the chronicles, means the events in a narrating in the time, and the events had been the given in order. Orderly events had been the. Third book is the Aine Akbari. Third book is the Aine Akbari. First volume contains the first volume contains the history of mankind. First volume which begins from the history of mankind from Adam, means the very primitive beginning, to the one celestial cycle of the Akbar's life 30 years. First book volumes, Akbarnama first volumes start from the history of the Adam and Eve until the 30 years of the Akbar's reign. 30 years of the Akbar's life. First book. From the Adams to the Akbar's 30 years. Second book, second volume's closes 46th of the regnal year of the Akbar. Second book is the closes in the 46th regnal year of, means the 1601 of the Akbar reigns. 46 years. Akbar ascended on the throne in the 1556, and right from there he now 1601 46. Understand? So this is the second volume of the Akbarnama, contains the events happened between these years. And the very next year Abul Fazl fell victim of the conspiracy. Then after Abul Fazl became the victim of the conspiracy that has been hatched by the Salim. Understand? By the Jahangir. Salim, the early name of the Jahangir, or by one of the accomplice, the Bir Singh Bundela, who murdered the Abul Fazl. Or this murder was organized by the Salim, means the Shahjahan. Sorry, Salim means the Jahangir. Understand? He had organized this murder of the Abul Fazl. Understand? And at this murder, or at this Vakya, Akbar had now uttered and the said Jahangir, now why did you do so? After my demise, the whole empire was fallen to you, fallen in your feet. Why? Why did you? So now this now no doubt agonized the Akbars. Understand? Akbar was agonized much by this incident, the murder of the Abul Fazl. He was the much agonized. So this was the one of the flaw or the defamation on the part of the Jahangir. Now the scholars, even the such scholars were not spared. Understand? In the way of getting the authority and getting the throne. Understand? So here we see that Akbar. Now the Akbarnama was written to provide a detailed to show the Akbar used to address the Salim or the Jahangir as a Sekhu Baba. He told that Sekhu Baba, why did you do? Why? Because after me, the whole empire was with you and under you. Understand? So this was the okay. Although this Akbarnama was written provide a detailed description of Akbar's reign in the Akbarnama had been dedicated to the written in the entire achievements of the Akbars or the traditional diachronic sense of the recording political significance events across the time. It was written in a two ways. In the two ways, first a diachronic account. What is the diachronic account? Diachronic account traces the developments over the time. Diachronic account traces what the development happened over the time, and synchronic account depicts one or several situations at one particular moment, one or several situations at what particular moment or the point of time. Many situations is there, and that is the described. So this is called the synchronic account, or diachronic account means that over the time the order of the incidents happened and the writings done. But in the synchronic, at the one point of time, many incidents of the events now together, okay, and the many situations together are depicted. This is called as the synchronic accounts. And now here this Akbarnama has been written in the two forms. Now, in the two form, first reign of traditional diachronic sense, recording the political significance events across the time. Political significant events which are the politically very significant had been written down as a diachronic way, as well as in the more novel sense of the giving a synchronic picture. More novel sense has been at the one point of time many situations are depicted or through the pictures of all aspects of the Akbar's empire. Understand? All aspects of the Akbar's empire has been given in a synchronic manner, that or the culture, synchronic manner, the Ashoka Empire, geographic, social, administrative, and the culture without the reference to the chronology. Without the reference to the chronology, geographical aspects had been given, depicted, social aspects had been depicted, or administrative or the cultural. So these all aspects at the point of time has been depicted. So this is the called as the synchronic way of the writing. Moreover, in the Ain Akbari, Mughal emperor is presented as a having. Now let's come to the Ain Akbari, the third volume of the Akbarnama. In the third volume of the Akbarnama, Ain Akbari, Mughal Empire is presented as having diverse population, having the empire in the Ain Akbari, the population was diverse. Now the Durrani, Irani, or the Hindus, Marathas, many were there. So the diverse population consisting of Jains, Hindu, Jain, Buddhist, Muslims, a composite culture. Understand? A composite culture has been presented in the Ain Akbari. Understand? So the Ain Akbari is the third book that represents the diverse culture, and the people belong to the diverse culture or the diverse ethnic group or the religious group. That has been depicted in the Ain Akbari. And Abul Fazl wrote a language that was ornate. Now, what was the style of his writing? He wrote in a very ornate language, very hyperbolic way, very exaggerating manner. Understand? Or in the ornate way, which attached the importance to the diction and the rhythm. Understand? He now attached the diction or the rhythm. He wrote in a very rhythmic way, very rhythm way, or as text were often read aloud. Text were read aloud, read aloud. So in a very rhythmic way he wrote. That could be in a poetic way, in the poetic way, that will be the read out. So he wrote in a very rhythmic diction and the rhythm way. Second thing, as text were read out, this Indo-Persian style, or this is called as the Indo-Persian style, was patronized at the court, or this kind of the Indo-Persian style was patronized at the court of the Akbar, and this was patronized at the court of the Akbar. Understand? Indo-Islam, Indo-Persian was the just and there were large number of the writers who wanted to write like the Abul Fazl. Or now the Abul Fazl became the tradition of the writing. Means all the other writers, they tried their best to copy the writings of the Abul Fazl, to follow the paths of the writing. They followed the Abul Fazl's writing. They tried to write write or imitate the Abul Fazl. Understand? So now in this way we see that this Akbarnama has been composed in the way. Now the people of the Abul Fazl, let's come to the Badshah-nama. Again the others say what the Badshah-nama. Understand? So students, we shall discuss about the Badshah-nama in the next period. Understand? In the next period, I shall discuss about the Badshah-nama. The Akbarnama, you understand well? In what volumes it is divided? What is its characteristics? What are the themes? Understand? These all have to be the very well. I suppose that will make you the very easy. The next class we shall focus on the Badshah-nama. I will try, and then after the Badshah-nama, and then after the ideals of the kingdom, a divine light as a Akbar. I will include in our next class. Thank you very much.